Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hello everyone, I hope you all are having an amazing Wednesday or whatever day y'all hear me. I hope you all are having an amazing day either way. I hope you all are also practicing y'all wellness when it comes to having a wellness check within your mental and physical well-being, just overall focusing on you. For those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of you who are not new to this, but true to this, hey y'all, what's up, what's poppin'? So without further ado, whether you are on the go or at home, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to my voice. Or if you want to go, just enjoy listening to my voice, period. So today's vibe of the day is decision making. Yes, the reason why today's vibe of the day is decision making because once we get to a point in our life, we make a lot of decisions that'll either impact us for the good or for the bad. But most of the time, what the decisions we make is based on how we feel and why we're making these decisions, because it's going to either break us or make us. Either way it go, long as the decision we made, we glad with it, we stick with it, you gotta do what you gotta do, especially if it impacts your sanity. Okay? So what are decisions? To make a decision, individuals or group have to be able to consider a various of factors such as like the preference, the values, and also be willing to hear from others when it comes to the decision making. The decisions involve choosing the best course of action from several things to achieve a goal or to address a situation, such as personal, professional, and organization outcomes are shaped by decisions ranging from simple everyday choices to complex strength choices. Now, when it comes to decision making within our personal life, I want to get into that. When it comes to personal life, I always tell people and myself that when it comes to your decision making within your personal life, make that decision based on how you feel, especially when it comes to your mental wellness. Don't do anything and don't make a decision up front if you know you have other decisions in mind. Like right now, for me, I am going into my senior year as a social work major and as an undergrad, and I am doing a field. We call it field of interest, which is an internship, and we have like many varieties of choices to choose from. So we have a strong decision making to do. And honestly, with my decision making, I'm really like, it's a lot that I could choose from. So that's one thing within personal, such as it intertwines, I guess, with professional as well. Another thing from personal would be like, how do you feel about certain things and certain people? If you have a gut feeling that you don't want to be around this person, or you know this person is no good or something, make that decision right then and there for you, especially when it comes to your personal aspects, for your personal reasons, such as, like I say all the time, your mental health. Please keep in mind that your mental health is everything. And I stress this a lot because my podcast is based on self-empowerment and self-improvement. And with all of that, you have to be able to express yourself as well as be comfortable with who you are, as well as understanding who you are as a person from inside and out. When it comes to the professional level, like I mentioned, you can say school because I feel like school is a part of the profession. With me with school, I had to make a big decision when it came to when I transferred out of community college, what I want to do. Do I want to continue? Do I want to stop? And how I am when it comes to school, I love school. I'm not going to stop until I get to where I want to be. But however, when it comes to professions, when it comes to jobs, enough is enough. Certain jobs you just had enough with. If you feel as though you need to, write your 2 weeks up or do what you got to do, do it. Because at the end of the day, your sanity matters and you matter, especially if you know what you want and what you need. You already know. That's a part of your planning. You're planning for something. You know your wants and your needs. You know what you want and you know what you need for a fact. And when it comes to the professional world, sometimes jobs fail to realize that they need you more than you need them. It do sound messed up, but This is how it is when it's in reality. I feel as though when you get older, once you work, a 9 to 5 job or a job that consists of somewhat a 9 to 5 job or work for yourself or whatever the case may be, or work for somebody else's business, be their partner, you got to think really logical on certain things because you're making a big decision, especially when it comes to money involved. Anything involving your money, the time and effort, you really got to be really high on your decision you making because sometimes the decisions that we make don't come only come once in a blue moon. So be mindful of that also while you continue listening to me. And also when it comes to organizations, I'll say like being a part of an organization, sometimes I noticed that we had to make tough decisions with them, pushing things forward, pushing things back, pushing things on a back burner, or just having to reconsider some decisions that we made. Because yes, we're human. We slip up. We have things in life where sometimes things just fall apart or sometimes things are not for us. So sometimes when you make the decisions you make in life, you have to be very logical and also think very deeply into it before you do it. Because like I mentioned with me for school, if you have other options out there or you have backup and sources, then cool, you already made your decision. But however, you still need to think logical also and deeper because at times, what if something else happens? Such as, let's go back to the professional aspect. People, always have 2 and 3 jobs. And people be like, why do you do that? Because you never know. If one job mess up, I can fall back on this one. And then I just find something else to help me. But right then and there, I still had to make sure I have income, make ends meet, make sure, if people out there take care of their family, guardians, whatever they're doing, they still got to make sure they're making some money. Even though the decision they have made was kind of crazy, but if it impacts their sanity and whatever else happens, you got to make those decisions logical. You got to make sure that this is the right decision that you have made for yourself. Okay? So why are decisions important? The decisions we make determine both our short and long-term goals. Determining the decisions of our life, our goals are more likely to be achieved when we can navigate challenges, opportunities, and progress forward. Making good decisions factors within problem solving, ensuring personal development, and contribute to individuals, organizations, and social success. Now, the good side of making a decision, like I mentioned, if it impacts with anything you feel as though is not right, that's you making a good decision for yourself by problem solving and having the opportunity to navigate through this challenge in your life. Now, when it comes to the bad side of, I just lost my train of thought. When it comes to the bad side of decision making, at times, like I mentioned, we can use the professional side as example, like with working, living arrangements, things like that. Sometimes it may or may not be good for you, and sometimes it may not be able to solve a problem. Sometimes it might not impact with your personal development. But I feel as though either decision you make, no matter how big or small it is, just think logical, think deeper, and also remember that your decision matters because this is for you. It's not for nobody. It's not for your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandma, your auntie, grandfather. It's not for them. This is for you, baby. Like whatever decision you make in life, make sure it counts for you. The outside looking in is always going to talk their shit. They always going to say what they want to say about you. But at the end of the day, the decisions you make is on you. It's going to have to follow you. It's going to have to carry you. And at times, the decisions we make, we feel as though it's not good enough for others. But we never really think of ourselves. And that's the thing. When it comes to anything I display on my podcast, it's always impacting you, an individual. Yes, individuals, I am going to say like other individuals from the outside is going to say something because, people like to talk. And, they say if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. And I feel like that's true because people will talk about you like a dog. People will talk about everything and anybody but won't tell them to their face. They won't tell it to their face. But at the end of the day, like I said, no matter what decision you make, even if you think it's bad, in the end, it might turn out for the good. Most of the decisions I have made in life I say have been good. Even though I felt like they were like, oh shit, what the hell did I just do? But then when I look into it and then, time go past and stuff like that, but I'm like, dang, this really helped me, especially within my personal life, professional life, mainly those two, within my professional and personal life. Those two things are mainly what I base my decision making on, because as I got older, I noticed a lot of things that just didn't sit right with me, or things that did sit right with me. So like the example I made when it comes to my internship, my field of interest, I have to make sure that, as when you have so many decisions to make, like preparing for college, like when I was in high school, I didn't experience decision day like I wanted to because of the pandemic, but that's cool. But I still had the opportunity to make so many decisions from over 10 colleges, from 10 and up, 10 plus, So just being able to make decisions and having the ability to make decisions are very important, because those decisions will impact with our life, either within the short term or long term part of our life, such as within a job. At times, yes, I'm not going to lie to y'all. At times, it's hard to even find a job that will meet with the job that will meet higher than the job you just left, or the company, organization, whatever you just left, such as relationships as well. It's going to be hard to find that man or that woman that can top the one you just had. But also when it comes to that too, it's always short-term goals. It's always a short term. It's not a long term. You know how we have the short term, long term goals? It's like that. I feel like decision making is impacted with that also, because within the goals that we set for ourselves, that's the decision that we're making for ourselves within that point of time of our life. Like my short term goal is, I'm gonna get this, blah, blah, blah. Long term goal is blah, blah, blah. Whatever you make it, just think of it as short term, long term goals and decisions as the same. So when it comes to decision making, it's very important that you stand tall and firm on the decisions that you make in your life, because this is involving you. It's not involving your husband, your wife, your children, depending on certain things. I'll say that if you're doing a decision collaborative with your family, yes, cool. But if the decision is based on only you within your personal or professional life, that's on you. Do what's best for you. Even if you have to set it as a short-term, long-term decision making, do what you have to do, but make sure you have that blueprint of why you're doing this and how is this going to be so important and have a big impact onto your life. So how is decision making important in our lives? Decisions shape our actions, behaviors, and experience in life. Making decisions is a part of everyday aspects within our experiences, from choosing what to eat for breakfast, a career path, or choosing a partner. We lead to more fulfillment and purposeful lives when we make effective decisions. See, like I just mentioned as well, when I had just said that, and I'm reading half my notes as well I made, it's important that we make the decisions we make in life, because when we have so many decisions that impact with our actions and behaviors and experiences in life, it makes our everyday experience and aspects on life very easy for us to choose, such as what we want to eat. Now, I'm really a fat girl. Like, I really have a sweet tooth, or like, it don't matter if I just ate something really sweet. I'd be like, okay, I want something else sweet. We have so many decisions when it comes to whatever we want to do, but the main decisions we're going to focus on is such as career, within the career path, such as what I mentioned with my career path within my internship. When it comes to careers, period, even if you want to work a 9 to 5, start your own business, trade school, whatever the case may be, make sure that decision counts, because that's a part of your life. Whatever decision, whatever you sign a dotted line for, you're stuck with that for probably a short-term or long-term purpose in your life. Such as with me as a college student, I work part-time jobs. These jobs are not going to stick with me forever. This is a short-term situation going on in my life. Versus when I get my career, once I graduate with my BSW and MSW, those careers impacting with my degrees, there's a long term. because that's what I went to school for. That's what I bust my ass so hard for. Did paperwork, stayed up all night with no days off. Half the time not getting no sleep. Half of the time just freaking out, buzzing out. Sometimes just dissing myself from the world. Because the decision I made for myself is that I'm going to get these degrees and I'm going to make these degrees work. Because doing anything in life sometimes also impacts with money. How the decisions we make in our life also values our life, such as money. Career-wise, you can get a full ride, stuff like that, but sometimes it's always something on the backside that you got to pay for. Always. No matter if you want a trade school, medical school, whatever, you still got to put something in it, especially when it comes to money, such as within the career path. If you want to start your own business or whatever the case may be, you got to make sure the money talks. Money talks, bullshit walks. Men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the decisions we make within our lives, when it comes to career paths, we have to make sure that the money is talking the way we want it to talk. Because if it's not, then that's where me, myself, and you and all y'all out there get to, walking out that door. If the money not adding up to what you put in all the work for, all the community service hours or whatever the case may be you're doing, if it don't make sense, get the hell out of there. You're not signing nothing. Or if they're not even trying to even make a decision with you and telling you, hey, we can go high, we can go, people be playing, we don't got time for that. We don't got time for that because, like I said, money talks, bullshit walks. So when it comes to the careers in your life, no matter how young you are, just don't be afraid to start thinking. You got to be really critical thinking on things you do. You got to be critical thinkers on everything, even on everyone you be around. Everything you do, just think on it really heavy. That's how I think. I think two sides. I'm really a heavy thinker. Sometimes being a heavy thinker can give you a headache. I'm not going to lie. It can give you a headache, but at times it's like it's going to pay off. Trust me, it's going to pay off. When it comes to choosing a partner and within that decision making being important in our lives, I say that's very, very important, but it's not as important when it comes to the career path. The reason why I say career path is because me, for example, I just cannot have myself in a position where I'm busting my butt off and I have a partner that's not in it with me, but I'm in it with them, with their career or whatever the case may be. You got to meet me halfway. So yes, when it comes to women and men out there, with the people that y'all like, and y'all see sometimes they play hard to get, or they tell you straight up, this is the decision I'm making, X, Y, Z, is because they know what they want. When it comes to the decisions you make, that's what you want. Flat out. It's not about no. Sometimes people be like, oh, she don't want me because my looks. He don't want me because I'm not Instagram model material. No. It's something in them that they know that they're not ready for. That's how I be at times. Like right now, I might not be ready for it. Right now in life, I'm 50-50. Like, yes, I want a relationship. No, I don't want a relationship. It's okay. But whenever I make that decision to say, yes, I'm going to talk to somebody. No, I'm not going to talk to somebody. It all depends on that person. So sometimes when people give you a good reason why they may or may not want to talk to you, take that decision that they made and respect it. Now, if they straddling you along and stuff, the decision you got to make is make that nearest exit and chuck them deuces up because you're not finna play with me. You ain't gonna make a decision. I'm gonna make a decision for you, buddy. We're gone. I'm gone. So when it comes to the decision that we make within our lives, within choosing a partner, we really gotta be very careful also because like I said, if the person don't meet the criterias or the qualifications or whatever that y'all have for yourself when it comes to your partner, you have that right to make the decision on whether you do or do not want to be in a relationship with them or you want them to be friends. Now, I know a lot of people be like, oh my gosh, he or she put me in a friend zone so bad. Right now, sometimes in people's life, they have to make a decision as, no, I can't do it, or yes, we can try it. You have to be very open and have that side of like, okay, I'm going to take you on your offer. You gotta give people a chance sometimes, even though at times it is hard to say we are afraid of making those decisions in life. But sometimes take that risk and you'll do it. Not gonna lie, y'all. I was watching Tyler Perry, A Diary of a Mad Black Woman last night. That just made me think about it because like she was going through a terrible marriage. She was in a relationship with somebody that she should have made the decision and left, but she didn't until she finally was able to find herself within another person. She was able to finally be free. She was able to live for her. And once she was able to sign a dotted line and divorce that man, that was the best feeling ever. More of the story is, y'all, at times too, when it comes to decision making, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take a toll on us. It's going to take a while. It's going to take time, but don't take too long because time don't wait for nobody. My maximum, I say, is between 3 to 6 months. Years, it will go by so fast and it'd be crazy. Like the pandemic happened, 4 years ago? Like, that's some scary shit right there. I know y'all probably like, damn, I said it too, just saying it out my mouth like 4 years ago. Like, geez. Okay. All right. So the decisions we make in our life is very important because they stick with us. And we have to make decisions every day. And y'all don't even know it. Like deciding, oh, do I want to take this way home? Do I want to talk to him or her today? Do I want to stay in and out? Do I want to eat, take out, or cook? Little things like that are decisions we make every day and we just don't know it. So just keep that in mind. One thing that I wanted to really get into is like, how do the environment factors such as like social norms and personal influence and peer influence impact the choices that individuals make within different contexts? Because when I was doing my research, putting my notes in, I was like, okay, I want to get a little bit in deep to it because we make decisions every day. And the decision making that we do every day impacts us. And it might also have an impact on our environment factors as well as the social norm. So when it comes to peer influence and social norms can also influence attention and beliefs by shaping perseverance of acceptance behavior. To gain acceptance or avoid rejection, individuals might conform to social aspects or group norms, leading them to make decisions that allies with within the social standards. As a result of peer influence, individuals can either be adapted to the benefits or behaviors or engage in risky behaviors to fit in within their social circle. So with this being said, when I did this and I was like, okay, let me do it in a question form and then put it together. When I was reading it, I was like, decision making also impacts with peer pressure because of the question it involves with environment factors and the social norm within peer influence. Now, it don't matter if you're 5 and up. Let me rephrase it. 3 and up. I don't care how old you are. You can be peer pressure at any time and any place. People will put you in positions where you don't even want to be having to make a decision. And I feel like those decisions also get really, really, really vague within the youth community. Us grown-ups, we have decisions too that we have to make within our peers. But peer pressure, I wouldn't say would be as much until you get to like 25. Because you're still young. So right now I'm still like in that box too of getting people, still in that range where, if you're in your 20s, you're still going to get peer pressure by your peers. But I feel like the younger generation within elementary school to high school, let's say 3 to 18, 19, 20, whatever, how old you are when you graduate out of high school, you really have to be strong and be really mindful of the decisions you make because your peers can put you in situations that may or may not help you. Once you make one decision, sometimes it may or may not be the biggest mistake in your life. But as I always say, I'm from Baltimore. And you really have to be careful with decisions you make, especially by the people you be around. If you don't be around these people almost every day or didn't grow up around them, your best bet is to stay with them. Don't make the decision to go off with somebody else and do other stuff with them because I'm telling you on the back end burner, people will try you And you have to make a risky decision on either should I stay sane or should I wild this motherfucker out? Because at times people will try you. And that's where the peer influence comes from. Especially, the saying, the angry black woman, the angry black man. You don't want to make that, we make the decision not to display that because there's another side of us. However, people do that. They make the decision to say, oh, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get her to act the way that the world is narrative, say it is. That's not true. So when it comes to how the environment factors within, such as social norms and peer influence affect a person, it can really either benefit you or it can have a risky impact on you, such as within the behaviors. And when it comes within the social circle, see me, I keep my circle very small. I like meeting new people. I will. But it's sometimes one of the decisions I make within the friends I do make at times, I'd be like, okay, I decide, is she good for me to, maybe bring to my house? Is he even good for me to go out in public with and stuff like that? It's the certain decisions that we make because I feel like that little voice in our head knows all the right answers. I just feel like that little voice in your head knows what's going on, what's best for you and what's not. Because if you just do one thing that for a fact that voice in your head said don't do and you do it, sometimes like, motherfucker, you should have listened to that voice. But sometimes it's like we risk take this. We want to try. We want to make that decision like, okay, I'm going to make that decision and see what go on. Either it's going to affect me or not. Why not see where it's going to take me? So when it comes to the environment also, like I said, I'm from Baltimore, and people are quick to say the environment, the society you live in, your zip code, where you from impacts you. Where I'm from, I'll never forget this dude told me, he was like, oh, you a Northeast girl. Y'all bakey. That's words we use up here. I was like, whoa. It can be crazy. It can be so crazy how people categorize you at things just because you're from there or you're part of it. But you're not part of it by force. You're just part of it because of where you live at or by association. It's not like I'm there like, oh, I'm rapping like, yeah, I'm from Northeast. I'm a city girl. Like, no. Nobody would know that because the way I carry myself is very professional. And I've always speak highly about school and my business. I really don't talk about where I'm from and where I live and where I'm from within the city because people be like quick to make that decision like, oh, so you one of them, oh, you can do this. No. And the decision I always make when people tell me that, I'm like, wow, that's them. But that's not me. I'm like, yes, I live, I'm from there, whatever, but that's not me. I made that decision to not let my society define me. Because like I always say, don't judge a book by its cover. If you have not had the time to sit down, open that book, read through it, and if you don't like the book, close the book and put it back where you got it from. But if you like the book, keep on reading until you get to a good part in life, even if you're ready for the bad parts in that part of the time of the book. So we just have to be very mindful of the decisions that we make in our life when it impacts with our environment, the social norms, and peer influence. But I also want the youth to really pay attention to that as well, because that's where peer pressure comes from when you're younger. Peer pressure affects a person's self-esteem, a self-confidence, everything involving self. We have to make sure we put ourselves first and also make sure that we cannot let anyone or anything try to make the decisions for us. We're one person, we're able to make decisions for ourselves. Even if it is not beneficial, you made that decision and you have to stick with it. Period. During the process of decision making, how do people correlate with the differences, interests, and values? It's complex decision. Individuals weigh their varies in interests and values against their personal perspectives, principles, and long-term goals to balance the factors out and decide what is best for them. They may use racial, alistics, emotional, and ethnic reasons. So when it comes to doing the process of decision making, how do us people understand and difference out the interests and values, such as within a person. What do you interest about them? What interest has drawn your attention? You got to make that like, okay, is it their interests or their values that made me draw to them? Or is it both? It's the decisions that we have to make, as well as within a company. What interests and values that they have brought to the table that has made me want to do this? Wait, we want to sign up for this. Makes me want to do a long-term goal with y'all. Makes me want to, do this professional as well as personal. Like for my personal life, do I want to live here? Do I want to stay here? What is this going to do for me? Okay, this is the interest, but how the value is going to help me? You got to think long term. And now we're thinking long term on stuff, because if you're at that age where you like 18, you got to think really long term. Before you know it, baby, you be 25. Before you know it, you be 40. We don't want to rush time, but I'm telling you, time waits for nobody and time moves on. Like I said, it's been 4 years since the pandemic. It's crazy, but it's like, wow, we lived through that. And it's crazy that we lived through it, but it's like, hey, it is what it is. And last but not least, before we leave out, we're going to talk about how confident I am, my decision, and what factors contribute to that confidence. So when it comes to summarizing everything up, once you make the decision, you got to make sure you stand tall and firm on it, like I mentioned. The degree of confidence a person has within a decision can be influenced by several factors, including the research and analyzation, the level of personal experiences and experience they have within the subject matter, and the level of feedback they receive from sources they trust. For a decision to be confident, it has to address these aspects, and also impacts with the determination is supportive for the choice's course of action. So as I mentioned, just summarizing everything. Once you make that the decision in your life, no matter how big or small it is, today's vibe is based on decisions or decision making. Period, point blank. It's based on that. So with that being said, you gotta be confident with every decision that you make in your life. You gotta be confident on how can this decision in your life be influenced on within several factors of it, within the research and analyzing the data or whatever the reason why you made the decision, rather it's on a personal or professional level, as well as the personal level experience, such as like if you've been through things and you see signs of like the red flags. If right off the bat, you're seeing red flags within a person, within like your family, your friends or spouse, getting to know couples wise, relationship wise, intimacy wise, whatever. If you see something that you've seen and it triggered you, the red flags. So you got to make a decision right then and there. Are you willing to help this person get the help they need, or are you willing to help you chase away from it? You got to be very, very firm on it. Because once you make that decision, you got to be like, okay, was this the best decision for me? How will this factor within my life, within the short-term goal, but mainly on my long-term? Because like, okay, I feel like we're going to bring therapy into this. Once you go to therapy, counseling, social work, whatever, have a social work, whatever, talk to somebody within the field of focusing on the mind and the body, and they help you. They're shaping you for long term. So the stuff that we're telling you or the stuff that they're telling you are preparing you for the long-term process in your life. You made that decision to come to me and them. So now I'm going to help you make a long-term decision so you don't have to deal with this again. You don't have to deal with this job doing this family member doing that ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend doing that coming up again. That's our job, to help you so you won't have to make that decision of having to go through the cycle again or having to break a cycle. Such as within family, you have to break some type of cycles in your life, especially if it's cycles that been going on for years and right from wrong, it don't make sense. Make that decision to stop it. Within your friendships, if something needs to change, make that decision to have that conversation with your friend and sit down and be like, hey, whoop, whoop, whoop. You got to make decisions no matter how big or small they are. Once you make them decisions, you have to feel comfortable, regardless if it's good or bad, because you did it. Not him, not her, you. You did this because you want to make sure you feel good. You made this decision because this impact with X, Y, and Z. Okay? So I hope you guys have honestly learned a lot within this episode, because this episode, I feel like every episode is good because I take my time and really do some research on it. And even if I don't do no research, I just freestyle right off the bat, and I'm not a rapper. But y'all, I really, really, really hope that you guys like understand the impact of decision making, especially within your personal life. Because at times, like I said, my podcast is based on self-empowerment and self-improvement. Everything involving self, as well as mind and body. If no one's going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. You need to put yourself first. You need to be selfish. You need to take control and pop out when you're ready to do that. So once you make those decisions in life, make sure those decisions in your life that you do make are made for a purpose and you feel comfortable within it. Because everything you do you're doing it for you. Everything. Every little thing you do is for you. And don't forget that. So as always, I wish you guys nothing but an amazing, successful, blessed, and safe day. I hope you all are enjoying this amazing weather. I know I am. I hope you all are just in a point in your life where now, like, you're able to be free. If my broadcast don't help a lot of y'all, long as it helps someone, okay? I love you all so much. Thank you so much for all y'all support. Like I say all the time, for the ones that are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey, y'all, like, shout out to y'all, because we came so far. We are almost at a year. Like, we're almost at a year. And it's so crazy to me because I say this all the time. Like, we're almost there. We're almost there to a year and more to come. And hopefully it blow up so we can have famous guests on here as well. But as always, y'all know it's peace and blessings over here. Peace and love and hair grease. Until next time, y'all, please be safe out here and always put yourself first. Have the mirror conversations 5, 10, 15, 20 to an hour, whatever you got to do. Practice self-care, practice self-love. And as always, you will hear from me next Wednesday. Bye.